pretty much giving my car a facelift. Yeah, it's pretty badass. I was washing it a couple days ago. Some of the water actually sprayed up underneath and into the headlight. It cleared itself up after a couple of days in the heat, but I don't really want to have to worry about that in the future. So I'm going to take these headlights off, open them up, black out the housing. While I'm at it, I'm going to add some LED strips down the sides. Pretty badass, right? So I got to get the car in there, and we got to drop off the bumper. We're gonna be working with a whole bunch of stuff. I got some sweet ass LEDs. These are gonna be sick, but they have an adhesive that they normally come with already on them, and it's crap. So you want to get some 3M adhesive that'll actually stick to like anything. Primer, and then gloss engine spray, just because it's suitable up to 500 degrees. And it's probably gonna get up to like 200 and whatever in the headlights. So I wanna make sure it doesn't go all crap. It's gonna match up with my car, so that's sweet. I'm all sweaty now, but this is the fun part. We finally got the bumper off. We only really need 10mm sockets, pretty awesome. But now I'm gonna be taking out the headlight. So we have 3 bolts to deal with. One's right up here, one's right down here, and the last one is right over here. So these come off nice and easy. No need to torque them or anything crazy. But I should be able to slide it out and disconnect it now. We just spent over half an hour trying to figure out how to get these headlights out. Because everybody shows you how to get them out and it goes, and then you just slide them out, right? The thing is, this is the most frustrating thing that you're gonna run into. So this clip where my thumb is touching, this needs to be pushed in. It's a good amount of pressure, and you gotta come up from underneath with a screwdriver. Put your thumb on the screwdriver, push it in, and then pull it back. But this thing is the most annoying thing you're gonna run into. Got a heat gun to blast along these edges, and then using a screwdriver to prop up and pry this away while heating up the glue. Now before I do that, there's 3 little screws. 1, 2, and 3. These are the ones that connect the outer casing to the headlight. The heat gun method works best if you tie the headlight to something secure. Open this sucker up. Check out all that crap. It's actually really good adhesive. Heats up to like 200 degrees and then releases. You don't really want to mess with that because it's going to be used again to seal it up. Next up, I'm going to disassemble some of these. Take off this strip, not spraying that. I'm going to take this sucker out. It's a nice tight fit though. Now you want to get your 600 grit sandpaper. Prepping for primer. So I found out something pretty interesting about this. Turns out they painted on really nice black plastic, which I'd question why the hell they did that in the first place. So I'm just undoing everything that they did. I'm prepping, I'm just gonna use rubbing alcohol. I'm gonna rub this down. I just wanna make sure we don't have any wax, residues left over. Now we're ready for primer. Keep the first and second coats light to prevent running. This also helps the primer bond with the plastic. The third coat should be a medium wet coat. So now I'm taping everything off. You can put the tape all the way across, and then when you're done, you take a razor, you just go around the edge, and just take off the outside. And then that'll protect it from the primer and all the finished coats. I'm using engine enamel with ceramic, and basically the point behind this is that this is going inside in the headlights, and it's going to get around like 200 and something degrees. Not super high, but this is good for up to 500 degrees, and so that's why I chose this one. You have to apply everything in 1 hour. Like the primer, the first and second coats should be light. You can be much more generous with your third coat. Grand unbedding. Wow, pimp that looks. Woo! The internals we're looking at. We'll put an LED strip down right here, which means I'm probably going to remove this thing because this thing seems to have a yellow tint to it. .3M, good old super strength molding. So I just put 3M molding tape down the side, because I want it to grip for fucking ever. Seriously though. Don't worry about the excess. I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife and I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna be hitting it up, making some holes right there. Gonna end up cutting it a lot shorter, so I don't have to deal with it all. Split these apart. So in order to get the LEDs all hooked up, what I'm gonna do, so I've got these coming through the back, I've got the positive and the negatives. This is a regular LED bulb, and I don't know if you see these little prongs at the end, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend those out, and then this will actually just, so it slides right up. Make sure you have a wire stripper so you can expose the wires. I made it easier on myself. Drilled these holes for the connector a little bit larger. Yeah, make it nice and easy to slip these through so I don't have any difficulty. I also drilled out these side parts, but right there, so that I could slip the wires on. Get my battery. No pain in double checking. Alright. So now you just want to connect up matching ones. If the connections are correct, both sets of lights should light up at the same time. Test it one more time. Bam! Perfect. Alright, so glad I did that. Otherwise I would have had to take apart the whole housing, everything, if I wanted to fix it. Right through. LEDs installed. I'm actually gonna polish it off later, so I'm gonna use the heat gun heat up the edges, push this stuff together, caulk it up. So I just finished fitting the housing back together, put my screws in. Still have a little bit of adjusting, then I'll put some caulk on it. It's gonna take 24 hours for that to cure, so I just wanna make sure that the fitment's right. See what this sucker is gonna look like on my car. It's pretty close. I'm happy with how that looks, actually. All the stuff together cost me about $75. If I didn't do this myself, I went out and bought new headlights. Pretty much someone else is going to do exactly what I just did, and they charged me some like $600, $700 for them. Now I'm moving on to the caulk. I've got some black silicone sealant, aka black caulk. Now this stuff, it takes 24 hours to cure. So I'm going to be sealing these up around the edges, and then I gotta wait. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Mill's Garage. If you like these videos, don't forget to click below. And we have a bunch more content coming up, so click to subscribe and we'll see you next week.